Last night, Alex Riley took 412 viewers from Nottingham, Manchester and Bolton to meet David Davis, the Secretary of State in charge of Brexit.
Yes, they asked him what would happen to all of those EU laws that we currently have to stick to and how trade would work once we are out of the club. Well, tonight, they're back for more.
This is our team, 4 one-show viewers. Nigel Baxter and Nora Howcroft, who voted to leave. And Nigel's brother Ian Baxter and John Constantine, who wanted to remain. They've been digging into the issues over leaving the EU with the man assigned to get the best deal for Britain, Secretary of State David Davis.
You wake up in the middle of the night thinking, blimey, it's a bit more complicated than I thought it was.
To be honest, I didn't expect to get the job.
He'll have a tough task when he goes head-to-head with this man, the EU's chief negotiator, Michel Barnier. And Nigel wants to know just how much money Michel is going to ask us to pay up to get out.
It's been reported that we might have to pay 50, 60 billion pounds to exit the European Union. Is that real?
They're taking a negotiating position. And you're quite right, there may be legal responsibilities, real legal responsibilities, which we deal with. But I'll get into that in detail when we get into negotiation. You're a businessman. You know I'm not going to open the bid.
No.
Sticking with the subject of money, much has been said about the amount we'll save by leaving the EU. And John wants to know where that money's going to go.
Before the referendum, there was that £350 million that was always mentioned about going back into the NHS. Will that go to the National Health Service?
The money that comes back will be used in the way the government thinks is best for the economy and best for the country. At the end of the day, this comes back to control. It's about Britain controlling what it does with Britain's money.
Many people's reason for voting to leave the EU was to reduce immigration and to take back control of our borders. But John is worried about what sort of country we'll become.
How can we control immigration but not alienate people? You know, still be a welcoming country.
The door is not going to slam shut the day after. We're still going to be open for the best and the brightest, for talent, whether it's professors or it's managers or it's engineers. Or
Are we still going to be open, though, for people who are fleeing tyrannical?
Well, that's asylum. Britain has been a watchword for tolerance and giving succour to people who are in trouble, and that will continue. A lot of people wanted control of migration, not because they disapprove of all immigration. They don't, I think. Listen, if I were in Eastern Europe, I would be working here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a question of balancing the economic demands and the interests of the migrants with the interests of British people, you know, who want to feel their country is under their control.
This economy needs ordinary workers to come and support our businesses and our public services, our NHS.
Yeah, we'll do it in a way which allows us to bring the net numbers down over time, but we'll do it in a way which doesn't cause labour shortages. That's the point.
And what about the jobs that British citizens just don't want to do?
We have to encourage people to do the jobs they can. I mean, you know, there's never going to be a time when there can be no migrants here. That's for sure.
Before any negotiations can start with the EU, we need to hand in our notice.
Can you tell us when Article 50 will be triggered?
Yeah, by the end of March.
Wonderful.
And then we'll be underway with the negotiation.
And there will be no strings attached to that.
The government's intention is to get on with it.
And it's not just David that wants a swift and effective Brexit.
The Prime Minister is very conscious that the people at large in the country want us to get on with it and resolve any uncertainties and get us onto our new track. And that new track is going to be designed to be in everybody's interest, not just the 52,
no.
Everybody's interest.
Our time with David Davis is up. So how does Team Brexit feel about what he had to say?
I thought it was good what he said about getting a deal that's good for Britain and good for the whole of the EU.
I'm pleased that the government gets a need for a free trade agreement, but I just don't believe we'll be able to have our cake and eat it.
We're only starting to get to realise now, actually, how complicated it is. How long is it going to take? How much is it going to cost? What we're going to be left with afterwards?
Everybody's looking at David Davis, aren't they? It's a difficult job.
And it's only just begun.